A very good morning, everyone. In our previous session, we have completed unit number 2, and the name of that unit is classes and object, constructor and destructor. So in our last video, we have just completed the concept of destructor. So up till now we have completed 2 units, and today onwards we are going to start with the unit number 3, operator overloading and type conversion. That is the first half of unit number 3, and the concept of inheritance is the second half of unit number 3. So today onwards we are going to start with the concept of operator overloading and type conversion. So before starting the practical aspect regarding operator overloading, I just would like to refer the theoretical portion regarding the overloading. Now see, in our previous videos, whether it is related with the unit number 1 or whether it is related with the unit number 2, right? In both the units we have taken the concept of overloading. There are three types of overloading. Number 1, function overloading. Number 2, constructor overloading. And number 3, operator overloading. So you can apply the concept of overloading in all the three topics like function, constructor and operators. So in our previous videos we have just referred the functions and constructor overloadings. So that portion we have already completed, and we are going to complete with the operator overloading in this unit, right? So before starting or before understanding the concept of operator overloading, let us discuss what is overloading, right? So overloading is nothing but, we can say overloading is the part of compile time polymorphism. See, you need to remember this word. You can use the concept of compile time or polymorphism, or we can use overloading. See, this term is already came in the unit number 1 when we have completed the theoretical aspect inside the unit number 1. And polymorphism is the advantage of C++ only, right? That is one of the advantage of C++. So when you are going to apply the concept of compile time, there are two types of polymorphism: runtime polymorphism and compile time polymorphism. So over here the compile time polymorphism is nothing but it is overloading, and there are three types of overloading: function overloading, constructor overloading and operator overloading. So if it is asked in the exam, the question may ask like write a short note on overloading, or you can also write the concept of compile time polymorphism. When the question is asked, write a short note on compile time polymorphism. In both the cases you just need to write the same theoretical concept. Now let us discuss the first point: creating two or more members that have the same name but are the different number of arguments, or we can say different type of parameters. It is known as operator, it is known as overloading. Let me revise the definition of overloading once again, because this is very much important in the theoretical aspect. The question may ask in the 5 marks, right? So you need to write these questions accordingly. What is overloading? When you want to create the members of any function or constructor or operator having same name but the number of argument would be different, that concept is known as overloading. Let me read that point once again: creating two or more members that have the same name but have different number of arguments or type of parameters, it is called overloading. In C++, it also supports compile time polymorphism, and the examples of compile time polymorphism are functions, constructors or operator. In other words, you can also write that you can overload the following concept: number 1 functions, number 2 constructors, and number 3 operators. Now it allows you to specify more than one definition for a function name, that is called function overloading. That means if you are going to use more than one function having same name but different parameters or different number of arguments, that is called function overloading. Similarly, an operator is the same name or same scope, which is called operator overloading. But remember one thing, that when you are going to use the concept of overloading, at that time whatever the operators you are going to overload, right, but the basic would be same. That means suppose I am going to use the plus operator and I want to overload plus operator, at that time the basic concept like 10 plus 5 returns 15 only, right? So that concept remains as it is. You cannot change the basic concept which are related with the operators. So that thing you need to understand, that while you are going to overload any operators, at that time whatever the basic concepts are regarding the operator would be there, it remains as it is, right? Next is called the operator overloading. The operator overloading means what? You can redefine or overload most of the built-in operators. Built-in operators means plus is there, minus is there, greater than is there, less than is there, right? So you can overload all the operators which is provided by C++, or we can say which is built in our language, right? So built-in operators available in the C++, thus a programmer can use operators with the user defined types as well. So now you are having the facility to overload this type of operators using user defined types. User defined types is the full form of UDT. UDT stands for user defined types. Now overloaded operators are functions with special names, the keyword operator followed by the symbol for the operator being defined. And that means when you are going to overload any operators, at that time you just need to use operator keyword, right? That keyword you need to use. We will definitely see this particular thing practically when we are going to perform the practical in our today's session only, right? So but let me complete the theoretical portion first, so that you can easily develop the program later on. So when you are going to use the concept of operator overloading, at that time with the help of operator keyword you can overload any operators, right? Now like any other function, an overloaded operator has the return type and parameter list. So remember one thing, that when you are going to overload any operators, it may contain return type or it may contain any argument list like normal UDF, right? But what is the rule? You just need to use operator keyword to overload any operators. Now representation of operators and operands. See, this slide I have taken. Why? Because I want to explain two types of operator overloading over here. But before discussing the unary and binary operators, I want to bifurcate that what is the operator and what are the operands. Remember one thing, over here we have A and B in first figure, right? So A and B both are operands, right? And plus is called operators. Similarly, we have taken numbers over here. So 3 plus 4, it is called literal operand. So 3 and 4 both are called operands, and plus is called operators, and 3 plus 4 is called expression. So any expression is the combination of operands as well as operators, right? So A, B, 3, 4, these all are called operands, and plus, minus, multiplication, division, even plus plus, minus minus, these all are the operators which you can use. Now see, two types of operator overloading is there. One is called unary operator overloading, other one is called binary operator overloading. So you can overload single operator at a time, or you can overload two operands with single operator at a time. So now what is unary? Unary means single. Now see, if you are using single operands, that is called unary operator. Now what is operand? That is called, see over here, 5 is a operands. So we can use minus 5, we can use plus 5, we can use pre-increment operator, we can use post increment operator, we can use pre decrement operator, we can use uh, post decrement operator. So pre and post can be used. This concept we have already taken in the C language, right? So when you are going to use only, you can see 5 is a single operand over here. Similarly in this case also, similarly A is a single operands, and you are going to apply some operator with the single operand. So that is called single or unary operator overloading. And generally you are able to use plus sign, minus sign, plus plus, minus minus operators when you are going to overload unary operators, and these all are the examples of unary operator overloading. Similarly binary, binary bi stands for 2, right? We are going to use bidirectional, biangle, biangular, right? So bi means 2, right? So when you are going to use two operands, that is called binary operators, and generally plus, minus, multiplication, division, these all are the operators which can be used with the binary operators, or we can say which represents the concept of binary. Now we have taken the example of this all operators over here, 10 plus 5. So 10 is the first operand, similarly 5 is the second operand, and plus is the symbol or operator which can be used to perform any calculations. Say for example over here we are going to apply addition. Similarly 10 minus 5, so this is the first operand, this is the second operand, and minus sign represents the subtraction of two numbers. So in each cases you are able to see that each expression contains two operands having single operator, and when you are going to use the concept of unary operator, it contains single operands in expression. That means minus 5, in this 5 is the operands and minus is the operator. So this is all about the concept of operator overloading. We can overload any built-in operators which are available in the C++. Say for example plus, minus, multiplication, division, plus plus, minus minus, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. That means arithmetic operators are there, logical operators are there, relational operators are there. We can overload any type of operators, but remember one thing, one point you need to keep in your mind, that the basics remains as it is. That means you cannot change the behavior of any operator. Say for example, if I want to when I am going to use plus sign with any operator, that means I want to add two numbers or I want to add two strings similarly, right? But when you are going to use minus operator, at that time when that thing represents, you are going to subtract two values, right? So in this way the basic remains as it is. Plus sign will not change the formation or of itself, that when I apply plus, at that time it will subtract value from the numbers, right? Such thing cannot be possible. So the basics which are related with the operator, it remains as it is. So that thing you need to keep in your minds. So now let us begin with our practical session which are related with the overloading. In our today's session we are going to see, or we are going to refer two programs which is related with the unary operator overloading. Unary means single. So we are going to perform two programs based on the single operator overloading, that is minus and plus, plus plus and minus minus. So let us start with the practical session regarding the operator overloading. Let us take example of unary minus operator overloading has include iostream dot h, has include conio dot h. I am going to create one class called unary. Inside unary class I am going to take three variables having integer data type, void get data. I am going to create the method with argument integer sorry, a comma b comma c. Inside that method, x equals to a, y equals to b and z equals to c. Remember one thing, that the left hand side of equals to, the variables are the part of class, and the right hand side of equals to, that are the variables which is declared inside the function, or the variables coming from the function argument. Now void display cout, three values we are going to print. So backslash n x cout y cout backslash n z. Now see, we are going to overload the operator minus. So as I have told you, you just need to write the return type of the function, that is void, because right now my function does not return any value. So I am going to use void over there. Then as I have told you in the theory portion, that you just need to use operator keyword. See, this is the keyword. So see the color, it will come in the white color, right? So we have used operator keyword over here, so that when you are going to use such kind of operator, at that time C++ came to know that I have overloaded this particular operator. Now I have used minus sign because I want to use the example of unary minus operator. So minus sign over there, and right now I does not have the requirement to give any argument, so I keep the function as it is. Now see the programs. This program is very easy. X equals to minus x, y equals to minus y, and z equals to minus z, right? So over here we have completed the creation of unary class. Let me repeat the code once again. Inside unary class we have taken three variables, that is x, y and z. Unary class contains three sorry, three different function. First is called get data, then display and then operator. Over here we have used the concept of operator overloading with unary operators. Why? Because we have used only a single operands, contains single operators, right? And get data function contains three variables, integer a, b and c. So when you are going to call get data function, at that time you need to pass three values of a, b and c. Then we are going to store it inside x, y and z. Display function will display the values of x, y and z. We have used void over here because our this function does not contain any, does not return any value. Operator is the keyword through which C++ are able to understand that this particular module is used for the overloading of any operators, and then we have used minus sign over here to overload any operator. Then we have used module x, y and z of void main clr scr and get ch, that both are the functions which we are going to use. Then we are going to create object of unary class, because through the object of unary class we are able to access the methods get data and display. So u1 dot get data, as I have told you that when you are going to call get data method, at that time you need to pass three values of variable. That means I am going to pass 10, minus 20 and 30. Cout before calling unary minus values of x, y and z are, that means I am going to print the original value which we have passed, right? So definitely it will print 10, minus 20 and 30, right? But now I am going to apply minus sign with the object, right? u1 dot display. Don't worry, I am going to explain the given program. Let me save the program first. This is the operator overloading program, so I am going to use o1.c++. Now see what happens when you create the object of unary class. At that time u1 is created. u1.getData will call this getData function. You just need to pass three values from the void main. In the void main we have passed 10, minus 20 and 30. So over here u1 dot a becomes 10 or u1 dot x becomes 10. Similarly over here u1 dot b becomes minus 20, u1 dot y becomes minus 20. And in the C case, right, let me give space over here, and in the C or Z case u1 dot c equals to 30 and u1 dot z equals to 30. So when get data is called, the value of a, b and c is stored inside x, y and z, and x becomes 10, y becomes minus 20 and z becomes 30. Now what happens, we are going to print this line. So before calling unary minus, values of x, y and z r will be printed on the screen. Similarly, u1 dot display is called, so it will call the display function using u1 object. So what is the value of u1 dot x, that is 10, so it will be printed on the screen. Similarly, the value of y would be minus 20, so minus 20 is printed, and value of z is 30, so 30 is printed. So original values which you have passed using get data will be printed. Now what happens, I am going to call the overloading of operator. So with the object name I just used minus sign. Why? Because I have used overloading of unary operator having minus operator, so I have used minus sign over here. So when minus sign is found in the void main, it will call the given function, right? Or we can say it will call the given code. So minus is there, so minus sign is with the operator. Now what happens, what is the value of u1 dot x, it is 10. So now x becomes sorry, x becomes minus 10 now, because when you apply minus sign with any number it becomes minus. Similarly, what is the u1 value of u1 dot y, that is minus 20. So y equals to minus into bracket minus 20. So the rule is what, minus minus becomes plus. So the value of y becomes 20 in such cases. As I have told you in the theoretical portion, that whatever the rules for the any operator is there, that remains as it is. So minus minus becomes plus, that is the rule, right? So it becomes 20 now, and u1 dot z equals to 30. So after this statement the value of z becomes 30, right? So now when you are going to call the display function using u1 object, it will print minus 10, 20 and minus 30, right? The value of z becomes minus 30 after applying the minus sign over here. So let us execute the program and check the output. See, before calling unary operators, value of minus x, y and z are 10, minus 20 and 30. Let me add one line over here, I forgot to write it. After calling unary minus, values of x, y, z are, now the output will be proper. Let me add backslash n in the program. See over here, the original value of x, y, z are 10, minus 20 and 30, but when you call the overloading of any minus operator, it changes the value of x by minus 10. See over here, it becomes 20. Why the value of y becomes 20? Because the rule is what? When you minus two values, that means minus minus becomes plus. So it will print 20 on the screen, and similarly the 30 is a plus, so it will become minus in this case. So this is the first program which represents the overloading of unary minus operator. Let us take one more program which represents the concept of unary operator overloading. Example of unary operator overloading. We need to include two header file, iostream.h and conio.h. Let us take one class called unary only, which we have taken in our previous program also. We need to take one integer number variable. Now tell me what code I have written over here, unary. So this is the default constructor, we can say. Let me give comment line over here, default constructor. And when default constructor will call? When you create object of the same class, at that time default constructor will automatically call. So number equals to 10. So when I create object of unary class, at that time default constructor of unary class will automatically call, and it will initialize the value of number by 10. Now as I have told you that you can write the return type of operator overloading. So I have written integer over here. See, we have taken number variable as a integer data type, right? So you need to write integer over here. Suppose you have taken float variable, or you have declared any variable as a float data type, at that time the return type of operator would be float. So now integer, then operator keyword, then I want to use plus plus operator over here, or we can say I want to overload plus plus operator, that is increment operator, right? Now return plus plus number. Similarly, I want to also overload the operator minus minus. So see, this is the function which contains with return, but it does not contain any argument, because right now we do not have the requirement to pass any argument. So I have not passed any variable over here. Similarly, over here we can write return minus minus number. So this is called pre-increment of operator, and this is called pre-decrement of operator, which we have overloaded in our unary class. Now let us write the body of void main. Need to use two functions, clear screen and get ch. Now let us create the object of unary class, unary u1, right? So when I am going to create object, at that time this code is automatically executed, because we have taken default constructor, and default constructor is going to initialize the value of number by 10. So u1 dot number becomes 10 dot number equals to 10. Now I am going to overload the operator cout backslash n plus plus u1. Similarly, I am going to call minus minus operator. Let us save the program first. This is the second program of this unit. So o2.c++. Let us execute the program first. The output would be 11 and 10. Now how it comes? See, you have created object of unary class. As I have told you that it contains number by 10. After that it will print the output on the new line. We have applied plus plus operator with the u1 object, so it will call this particular module, in which you have used the concept of plus plus operator overloading, remember one thing, still we are in the unary operator overloading, right? Plus minus plus plus and minus minus, these four are the signs which we can use with the help of unary operators, right? So in the first program we have studied plus and minus operator overloading. In this program we have used plus plus and minus minus, that is increment or decrement of operator. So it will return plus plus number. We have used pre-increment, right? So in variable as well as in the output also it will be it will increment the value of number by 1. So u1 dot number becomes 11. When you use, so this line will print 11 on the screen. After that you have called pre-decrement function, right? But over here we have overloaded that particular operator, so it will go inside the code and it will decrement the value of number by 1. So in this way the program is executed and you can write the concept of operator overloading. But remember one thing, whatever the original logic behind the code, it remains as it is, whether you have used the concept of operator overloading using plus or minus or plus plus or minus minus, whatever the operator you have used, but original fundamental remains as it is. In our previous program we have overloaded operator minus because when you use minus minus sign, at that time it will become plus, and we generally avoid to apply plus sign with any numbers. So I have not taken plus sign over here. So this both are the programs which are related with the unary operator overloading. In our next program we are going to see the concept of binary operator overloading. See, I have used post increment in this program, right? See the concept, as I have told you that rules remains as it is. This is the post increment, that means it will increase the value of number later on, right? So in the screen the output is 10, right? So whatever the fundamental or basic is there, right now I have used pre-increment, so it will increase the value of number by 1 and after that it will print on the screen. So fundamental remains as it is. So this is all about our today's session. I am going to share the notepad file for both the programs, and this thing you need to write in the journal. This both program is related with the unit number 3 and the name of this unit is operator overloading and type conversion. This is the first program. Let me scroll down the program. We have applied minus sign with the object name, right? You need to write output of this program. Let me share the second program which represents unary operator overloading. When you overload any operator, just one thing you need to keep in your mind, that the fundamental or basics or rules and regulations which are related with the operator will never change, right? Let me scroll down. Over here we have used pre-increment and pre-decrement. You can use post-increment or post-decrement also. And increment and decrement operators we have already completed in the C language, right? So that thing you need to refer in the C programs. So this is all about today's session. Thank you all.